Hello, everyone. Sorry for trying to break the sound barrier again. I am here once again discussing about how our favorite idols in a gen would do in a fight or how you would do in a fight with them. Likely the second. And with me today is the host guest once again, Mr. Icarus. How do you do?
Hey, how's it going? I'm back to yap about things that don't matter again.
You like spinning?
Oh yeah, I like spinning. Spinning's a
Uh,
good trick.
Alrighty. So, before we even start, should we keep to the order of debut? I put Iris here first because she was Project Hope before Council was a thing, and then once Sana left, she and the rest of Council were merged into Promise. Or should we just go Council first, then Iris, and then see how it goes?
I think having Iris in lumped in now works, just because everyone just assumes she's a part of Gen 2 anyway already. So,
Alrighty then. Well, start with Iris then. How do we tackle Iris first thing? Uh, because I feel like she has a similar situation to the both Kiara and Callie thing that was said in the last video. Is that like Kiara and Callie together are like life and death? She has two sides too, being the angel and demon. Like she's a combination of both. Niflim, I think that's the name, right? Niflim,
yeah, it's a Niflheim.
Niflim.
A Niflheim. So it's a deep. No, well, because I think a Nephilim is it a joint of two angel and demon, or is it like
Either way,
something else?
she's both demon, part angel. Uh, I feel like this just makes her a glass cannon because she has the attacks of both sides. So if you're not religious, you're still gonna be hit by some of the more religious moves. But if you're more demonic, you're that religious stuff is gonna hit you hard. But the demon stuff, not too much. At least that's what I think when it comes to it. Like I say religious, you could say heavenly, but the heavens are mostly like for the faithful or something. So that's why I feel like that's an important thing to uh,
I
specify.
have the Wikipedia page pulled up here, and it says they're either rebellious angels, the offspring of rebellious angels and humans, either the descendants of Seth and Cain, but it looks like they are giants born to fallen angels and humans.
Mm.
So she is a Nephilim, which means she's not. She is a divine being, of course, but she isn't like all powerful like Kiara or Callie is.
So what you're saying is that we're looking at the weaker link of Gen 2, right?
One of the weaker links, yes.
Okay, so I think going about with Iris would more so be like just determining which side of herself she's gonna use more. She's gonna use her demonic powers more against you. She's gonna use her angelic powers more against you. It's more so like a 50-50 fight, depending on which side you're prepared for, honestly. At least that's my opinion of how it will go with her.
I have the Britannica definition here. Nephilim in the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, a group of mysterious beings or people of unusually large size and strength who lived both before and after the flood. The
Hmm.
Nephilim are referenced in Genesis and Numbers and are possibly referred to in Ezekiel. The Hebrew word Nephilim is sometimes directly translated as giants or taken to mean the fallen ones, but the identity of the Nephilim is debated by scholars. So, kind of iffy on what
S-
they are exactly. So, if we want
Still,
to go with the still, if they are born to humans from humans, they have to be at least somewhat mortal.
hmm.
But they are of great size and strength. We will assume that Iris can change her size at will to being slightly larger than that of a human, but she prefers to stay slightly smaller, to stay small and cute.
So what you're saying
So,
is, if we don't give her enough time to change size, she's just as bleedable as most of us, right?
Yes. I mean, even if she's still a giant, then you just have to go into like you bust out your giant slaying procedures and go from there.
So Iris is pretty much, despite her more so complicated lore, she's just a regular takedown, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, it'd still be like a good fight.
It'd be a good fight indeed. I say it could go depending on how you, uh, go forward with dealing both types of her powers, angelic and demonic. But if
There
what
is no reference of them being demonic in like actual lore. If she's written as a half human, half demon, though,
she's half
in her
angel, half
lore,
demon.
okay, so then that's not a Nephilim.
Actually, wait. Let's look up her description. But the website's taking a bit to load in at the moment. Oh no, wait, there it
Uh,
is. Just as I said it. Iris. Ooh, I have it in Japanese. Okay, Nephilim. This is more so. Oh wait, there it is. Half demon, half angel, and that she is the precarious and unstable. So if she's unstable,
so is she referred to as a Nephilim
yeah,
in her lore? How do
yes.
you spell it?
Uh, I closed the page. It has an NEPI, NEPI. Wait, there it is. N. Oh no, wait, it's ne and then f Nephilim, Nephilim, who was once the embodiment of hope back in the paradise, left to set off on an adventure through lyrics and songs with the determination of her voice, but precarious and unstable due to being a half demon and half angel. This phenomenon can be observed on rare occasions in the form of the most predictably surprising comments from Iris herself. Okay, but I think that's already talking about Iris, the person herself, in terms of what she says. But if that's anything to go by, then I think Iris kind of has like a Broly thing going on, at least Z Broly, where she has power, but it's unstable. And if we go with the more real life text examples, like you said, she really doesn't have much going on. And if anything, it's her hope. Like, she'll not be the hardest to take down, but what make her hard to take down is her determination.
So to clarify, she isn't a proper Nephilim, as what she's described as isn't a Nephilim in the traditional sense,
Yeah.
biblically accurate. And she isn't a Nephilim because I think that's specific to Diablo, but it's a trope enough to where it has a different spelling.
Okay.
That's why I said it the way it was. So Nephilim is usually like people born from fallen angels and human women, and then Nephilim is offspring of angel and demon. So
Mm.
to spell that one, it's a different spelling. Nephalem instead of ILIM.
Mm.
However, since she is considered ILIM, we can assume that she was born from a fallen angel to maybe either another fallen angel or to another human, thus half angel, half demon, I guess if you want to say, because a demon is technically just like a fallen angel that's been twisted to corruption. But biblical fucking analogies aside, you mentioned that she was hope, so I'm thinking, what if she is both sides of hope? So her angelic half is hope, and her demonic half is despair.
Mm.
So that would significantly buff her abilities with what she does
I feel like
and what
it's
she's
more
capable of.
so hope and determination, Like hope as in the feeling for the angelic side, and determination as the will to do it as in the demonic side, like the rage, you're determined and whatnot.
No, because determination comes along with hope, because hope and determination kind of go together. You're determined because you work to hope that it'll happen, right?
Yeah,
You're under the assumption that if you're determined and you work hard, your hopes will come true.
yeah.
That's why I said like despair is the demonic side because despair would feed the demon half, you know? It would be
Okay.
like you're hopeless. You are without drive. You are without action. You are just stagnant, sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Despair.
Okay. So I guess I guess for Iris it would more so be a hard battle like you mentioned earlier, but it shouldn't
You would
be
still
too hard.
you would be fighting a demon, yes.
But at the same time, maybe Iris could see the hope in you to fight her, and maybe that would kind of fight back the demon side of herself somehow, and just hold herself back. So I guess if you have hope, you can defeat hope. I guess.
With
If that,
enough with enough willpower and determination, anything is possible.
you know what, that is true. Maybe she could power you up too by accident. So I guess that would be it for Iris then.
In a straight fight though, I would say you would need like a lot of holy and unholy weapons or whatever, like dark and light, because you'd have to be able to do neutral damage to her.
Yeah.
Most common traces are like divine beings have elemental resistances to everything, so you wouldn't be able to like do any other elemental damage. Pure almighty damage would probably be your best bet if per persona logic. So if you just hit her with true damage is true damage. You can't block that.
Yeah.
She can fly, right? She has wings.
Yeah, but they're pretty small, so I don't know if she's using
That
them
doesn't
fully.
that doesn't matter because like we've seen like pixies have tiny wings and they still fly.
That is true. So never mind.
So we assume that she can fly. Uh, so probably would fight you with magic. So lots of magic resistances you'll need.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
Actually, have resistances to like insta kills, because I think since she has both sides, she would access to that if we were gonna use SMT slash persona logic.
that she just happens to kill skills.
Yeah, it would be like fighting Beelzebub. He doesn't have any light null effect skills, just dark. But I always felt the need to equip both just in case.
You never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
but I think that could be it for Iris.
Yeah, pretty
Def,
straightforward.
yeah,
I'm gonna say yeah, pretty straightforward. Nothing like super crazy, but usual like oh, if you're gonna fight I would probably think like a Bayonetta angel boss fight on crack, and then like a Dark Souls demon boss on steroids, and then you combine the two, and there you go.
essentially just a Bayonetta 2 fight in general, because she fights both demons and angels in that game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that works.
All right. Uh, so the next one we have is Bay, but according to the Hololive website, Crony goes before Bay. So which one do you want to do first?
I will do Crony.
All right, Crony, the super OP one. Oh, sorry, body jump scare. I meant to zoom in on the face.
I can't see your screen, buddy.
Oh dear. Never mind. You don't need to see anything. Only the viewer.
All right,
But yeah,
dickhead.
Crony. What do we do with Crony?
So based on her design, I always feel like she has two twin swords. I feel if does she
She
not have twin
does
swords
have
in her
two
art?
twin swords. Yeah.
Okay.
One's and actually,
Yeah, there
this
they
is
are.
a
Okay, I see them
fun
now.
fact. Before you guys listen to how to deal with her, is that in real life, if you are gonna fight with two swords, you gotta make sure one is shorter than the other, so you don't accidentally cut your arm off or something like that. An example of this can be seen in Lin in the more modern Fire Emblem representations, at least in Fire Emblem Warriors. Actually, just Fire Emblem Warriors. You want a more mainstream representation of this. Ahsoka in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. She's using them backhanded, but it's still two blades, and one of them is shorter than the other. At least that's one type of fighting style, because we know there are other Jedi who use two lightsabers, and both are the same length, just like Asajj Ventress and whatnot. But Crony uses one sword longer than the other, obviously to represent minutes and hour.
Because she's an edgy chuny.
No, it's because she's a clock.
She's a clock.
She's a clock.
Yeah, minutes and hours. So powers aside for now, twin sword wielder. You are gonna have to fight her with twin swords. So one of the ways to get around that is, who would have thought, a fucking polearm. So spear, sufficiently long enough axe, halberd, a legion of Roman legionaries and centurions.
Mm-hmm.
Anything with the spear, a phalanx.
Listen,
You could also just go fucking Musashi on it and then just pull out a gun.
listen. Her
Outranger.
if her boss character fight in idle showdowns anything to be believed, those swords can come out of anywhere. But at the same time, right? If she doesn't fight like that, you could just make sure both her sword arms are handicapped and just break them. And this is obviously powers aside, because let's be honest, to fight Crony, you would need the wristwatch or the watch in general that Amelia has. And if you don't have that, you're losing this fight 100%. I'm sorry, there's no way around this. She has time powers. Like she mentioned earlier, she could beat either Vegeta or Gogeta. I mean, Vegito or Gogeta. She said, oh, I would just freeze them in time forever, because what are they going to do? Well, assuming that's canon, right? Then she could just keep you
Assuming that's
frozen in time.
canon, assuming that's canon, she hasn't seen the Super where Goku is able to beat what's his name, Hit, who is
Yes.
literally traveling forward in time to hit Goku, and Goku is still able to hit him because he's predicting where he's going to be. And I have the official fucking Hololive wiki up too, because I'm cross-referencing stuff. It literally says, when faced with absurd developments, even her time as the Warden of Time can come to a halt. So you can depower her if you take her off guard enough, or if just reality break bends enough for her to stop existing as a concept.
That
So
is
she's not
true.
all powerful. Again, which is why time powers are bullshit, because if you don't adhere to the laws of your own set universe, things break. And this is why comics fucking suck, is because they can't set and establish rules that exist. You're supposed to break the rules when there's supposed to be a new development. The new broken rule now becomes the exception, and it escalates everything to a higher tier of danger or like more severity. If you're doing it like every other issue, it stops being insignificant, you know?
So you're telling me is that we will need a power like Ina's to essentially have a chance at fighting Crony?
No, you would need to have a bullshit combination like Callie and Kiara self-cessing, reviving each other to
Mm-hmm.
have a chance of stopping Crony. She is. She's always being. People that are in charge of time are always seeing as being like pure, like emotionless beings,
Yeah,
or just having like really cold and calculated personalities.
yeah,
Because time is like the ultimate judge, so it
yeah.
doesn't matter. They're just beholden to it. You look at Kronika from Mortal Kombat or Gearus, they're kind of the same way thing.
Okay.
So if you can strike at their emotions or lack of emotions thereof hard enough, or if you fucking Doctor Strange and Dormammu in that one movie, I haven't seen it, but I saw the clip where like if you just go in there with your own time bullshit, they'll get annoyed and leave you alone. Because what does Doctor Strange do? He walks into a different dimension, into an infinite death loop, and just annoys him to death, or
Oh
annoys him to
yeah,
get what he
I
wants.
remember that scene. He just went saying he just kept going. Dormammu have come to bargain
And he
over and
keeps
over.
getting,
Different
yeah,
entrances too.
yeah, different entrances, different ways he died, everything else. So you can annoy her to get what you want if you really want to start bringing in her powers.
That is
She's the
true.
warden of time, and unless of course she's willing to, like, as like the moment that she starts breaking the rules of time is the moment her job is in jeopardy. I mean, it's also the moment when you can start breaking the rules of time, because if the watcher starts breaking their own rules, or the warden starts breaking their own rules, there's no longer anybody enforcing said rules for them to start mattering anymore, or for them to matter anymore at that point.
You could also destroy creation itself, like in Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, and then time no longer exists. You exist outside of time, so how can you manipulate time if there's no time to manipulate? So therefore, Crony would have to rely on her own raw strength as a swordsman. Well, in this case, Clockman.
Swords Clockman,
Sword.
which okay, her own strength is a swordsman, so she's going to be probably above average strength.
Now
But
hold on.
but like let's be honest, her main strength is going to be her speed because she can just accelerate herself to do damage to you.
Listen, all
But
you gotta do with her really is like, even if she didn't have that ability, would be to predict where her swords go, and then just break those arms of hers. Like honestly, just like if you're using a sharp weapon too, she's gonna be using those dual hands. If you have enough force to push away one, just immediately go for the hand thing. It's gonna be gruesome, yeah, but you're gonna have to incapacitate her somehow. And you could say that her legs are deadly too because they're pretty long. Yeah, they are pretty long. But then
nah,
again, they are pretty long, so they're easier to grab, so you can just throw her down. So Crony without time is more so like a tricky combination of how well can you predict and how well can you pierce the weakness real quick to get rid of it.
she's built like a freaking 90s anime protagonist, dude. She's like it's 70% leg. She got them Yuri legs, dude.
But she's also got abs and strength, so her physical prowess is pretty strong. So yeah,
She admitted she was a magical girl. She just fights with swords. If she domesticated herself, dude, she became a maid.
that is true. And that's also another thing with Crony. She's timed, so there's many versions of her. That would depend on the time on the version you get. One has guns, one is a maid, one is just a regular person. So basically, we're just taking into account regular Crony, which is this Crony you see right here. She even has her own
Yeah,
fan game. Check it out. It's called Chrono
ba-
Gear.
base
Uh,
base form crony. None of the other alternate timeline variations of crony.
but check out, but check out Chrono Gear. It's good. Um, but yeah, Crony is like predicting and making sure how you would incapacitate it before taking it into any of the time shenanigans, because time shenanigans in any set of lore or universe can be a little bit either complicated or not worth it into going like all detail. Because if you see any time travel movie, maybe things won't change and you just change the timeline, or maybe everything changes and then it has like a bit of a paradox, like, oh, everything's changed, right? So who has to keep going back in time and whatnot? Like, for example, in Black to the Future, Marty goes back into the 50s. When he comes back, his life is much better than expected because he basically made his dad be able to stand up for himself. Yet he has memories of the shitty life instead of the good life, right? When his mom was drunk, smoking, and fat, and his dad was a wimp. Whereas in the new timeline, you know, he says, "Mom, you're thin," and his dad is, you know, well respected. He doesn't look like a wimp, and then, you know, he book a best bookseller, and Biff is working for them, but yet he has those memories of the shitty life. And when he does it again in Back to the Future 2, changing that whole timeline shtick, they like he has no memories of the timeline where Biff was the, you know, luckiest man in the world, CEO and whatnot. So if you're gonna fight Crony, it pretty much depends on which universe's laws of time that you're gonna follow and what she's gonna follow, and then see how they can both break so for you to get the upper hand. Well, I say upper hand, and in this case, it would be the even hand because, you know, she's still using time. It's gonna be unfair.
You know, we're overcomplicating this. If you really want to defeat her, just bring a mirror.
That is true. Crony cannot resist herself. That is her kryptonite. We
Is
forgot about
herself.
that. Herself.
You have to bring the domesticated version of herself and be like, this is you from the future, and she'll
N-
just fucking fold like an omelet.
no, 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 no. Just a mirror. Any version of Crony. Heck, it can be a Crony that's just a cookie, and she'd be like, "Wow, wow," and be analyzing every single particle and be distracted by it. Anything. Like heck, um, like damn, you could just bring the color blue that she has on her hair. She'd be like, Wow, Crony has a can of paint. Like, damn, Crony, I kind of want to get you all over me. I like your
crony,
color.
crony blue,
Crony
crony
blue.
blue.
Crony blue.
Oh, jeez.
That's also a kryptonite way to defeat Crony.
Is herself
Yes.
or her many girlfriends.
Nah, just herself. Time to go to Bay then, or then Crony's gonna keep us in a time loop of talking about how to defeat Crony using
And
different versions of Crony. So right now, she's working against us.
that's also excluding the very obvious fact that we exclude over her is that a lot of times, time people tend to be like depressed or like narcissistic, and she has both of those.
Oh yeah. Oh
She
yeah.
fucking crazy ass woman. Just
That's why she loves herself. You gotta bring that mirror, bros. You gotta bring that mirror. Or gals,
so.
or
If you want to timestamp it here, how to defeat Crony? Break her limbs, put her in make her fight you in a different timeline where she can't use her time powers. Make her break the time laws. Dormammu her fucking infinite time loop, or bring a mirror.
bring a mirror. But let's go to Bai before she keeps us in a loop. All right,
The
Bai
rat.
time. The rat, leader of the
The rat.
council. What do we do with the embodiment of chaos? Yet, when you actually see her taste, it's like, wow, she is the embodiment of order because she lives under a freaking rock. Sorry. That cough was not on purpose. I really am sick.
You're
But
fine.
but
Get over it.
yeah. What do we do with the embodiment of chaos? We can't just use order, because assuming there is no representation of order in Hololive. In fact, I think that's why the console is for the show order. Then how do you take on the rat?
Cheese.
You know, I just like the mirror cheese bit actual fight. What do we do? What do we do with Miss Brat the rat?
The rat.
Rat.
Um.
Don't say Ratatouille, because I think she'd like that more than she'd hate it.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, it's so vague being chaos that I'm not really sure what they're going with here when they say that she's chaos, but she's like bright red and blue.
Hmm.
So I'm like, what is this? What is this color scheme? As someone who's a non-artist, is like, what is this color scheme?
I No,
But I
this
think
is
she,
more so.
I
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I was gonna add to your comment. This is more so Mika Picasso expressing her colors and whatnot. And I like Mika Picasso's art because I like Engage. I thought it was pretty nice, but that'll be getting off topic. Focus on what you were gonna say.
I mean, there's only like there's only small blurbs on the Hololive site that explains what they do or like a little bit of lore.
Yeah.
So it says Arbringer of Chaos embodiment as well, performer who entertains people, always searching for the next performance. It is also fun to be at the mercy of her own chaos. So it might just be like not chaos and we think of like universal feat, but I think like the chaotic nature of performance and art expression, I want to say. But that's
Event.
kind of also like more abstract than just universal chaos. Because if you go by universal chaos, that is the exact opposite of like a natural force of the universe being that the natural state of the universe is entropy, which is everything eventually settles down to its place. So she could just be like change, or like active energy going into the system.
So what you're saying is she could just be a regular rat girl that just happens to embody the concept of chaos, and that's it.
Yeah, but like, and then it's like, well, what is chaos?
Cause like, think about it. It would be pretty chaotic if the concept of chaos did not have any chaotic powers to
Yeah. So
do
what is a
anything.
chaotic power?
What?
Well, so like, yeah, it's like, what would you define as a chaotic power?
Yeah, because think about it. If you were order, it would make more sense that you have powers of order than powers of chaos, right? Because chaos doesn't means you don't follow anything, right? So she could be the embodiment of chaos itself, but unlike the other embodiments we see here, like of time, nature, and civilization, she has no powers for it, and that would be chaotic. That would be breaking her from the mold. So if anything, Bay's probably the regular one here. Think about it.
In Greek mythology, chaos refers to the primordial void that existed before the creation of the universe.
She definitely
Why
did
doesn't
not
everyone...
exist before the creation of the universe, because look how zoomer she is.
Yeah, for crazy how that works. Isn't one of her like art features like a pair of dice or something?
Yeah.
So what if she's just RNG?
You know what? You have something going with that. What if she's just the embodiment of modern chaos?
Oh boy, I do love being blasted with random ads that have no bearing on my algorithm whatsoever. I mean, that would
Uh,
actually make sense of what you're considering what she is.
because think about it, rats nowadays are most commonly found in the cities, causing chaos to those people, right? Rats can also be referred to as a snitch in political things, right? Then
Right.
and she's also a girl with a punk looking type of look, yet most of her songs are pretty like, heavenly and whatnot from what I've seen. Or she can do like, the more chaotic songs like with Corone and whatnot. And her color scheme, like you said, that's a lot of colors, that's a lot of chaos right there. She has dice, and gambling's pretty promoted lately. In fact, you could say that gambling's causing a lot of problems right now with it being normalized. So, if anything, she represents what chaos is at the current moment, you know?
In the current meta.
Yeah. So, if anything, her powers would just refer to what she can do with what's chaotic in the moment. Like, she could probably rig your dice rolls to be bad. She can probably make a chaotic music to distract you or something like that. But if anything, she's probably not the most straightforward to fight because it'd be chaotic. But she's probably the easiest one to fight because her powers could be relative to what people consider chaotic.
Well, no. So, like, let's say as one of her stage gimmicks, it's like if you've done the Persona 5 fucking say boss fight,
Yeah?
when she has like the roulette and it's like always guaranteed to like fuck you over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, she can't do that because it has to be a random outcome every single time.
Yeah.
So she can't rig anything in her favor or anything against you. So if you were to literally rig a game to where she thinks it's chaotic, but like, so I think hers would be like randomized attack patterns, quote unquote,
Yeah.
but within like every system of like complete disorder and confusion, there is always a pattern that presents itself, even if the pattern is like however many repetitions long per each repetition. It could be like, oh, like it repeat, like it loops every like five, every five attacks she goes back to this, or it's like every 3 loops or every 2 loops, like every 2 turns she'll do like a status effect, or
Yeah.
she'll use this attack, or she start charging. It's like even if that takes like 15, 17, 86 different attacks before she re-loops again, it's like there is still going to be a pattern that you can like form and use. And the more chaos you introduce into a system, it's like if you think of it like in the creation of the Big Bang in the universe, things start to just like collect and will by themselves start to order themselves back into something.
Yeah.
So if you want her to have like a quote unquote power, it would probably be just like being able to just summon or spawn in random cataclysms, random effects, random things entering the battle space at any
She
given
can
time.
summon rats.
She can summon rats if you want to go that far. But it's also like I feel like one of her things also would be that she can just completely dematerialize or like destroy everything that she is, like that she can touch or do something. So
Yeah.
almost kind of like a quote unquote disintegration ray, but it just sends everything into like a million little pieces of like basically like she can turn anything into like a really like into a really big Lego set, and if she hits it, it'll just like explode into a bunch of pieces,
Yeah.
of random shapes and sizes and like consistencies.
Mm-hmm. I
If anything, I
guess
feel like if anything, I feel like she'd be one of the harder ones to fight. Like even if she is just a normal
no.
rat person,
Now listen,
it
like you said, RNG chaos. It pretty much depends
But
on your luck.
it's completely, but like the one thing that is consistent is that it has to be like randomized. There has to
Hmm.
be something being removed or misplaced. So I feel like giving her the powers of randomized destruction is on par for the course of what she can do.
Yeah,
So like she would almost be like a Callie in the fact that she has a touch of death, where like if she touches you once, you just explode.
yeah.
You don't have to like explode into blood, gore, and viscera. You can literally just like explode into a bunch of frogs, or she can turn into a horde of rats that just collapse. You just become space dust. You become like randomized carbonite materials. She fucking full metal alchemists you, and you just become your base elements and containers that are able to contain it all.
Hmm.
So it's like it doesn't matter. So and again, like even if the pattern takes however many iterations right for it before it loops, it's like there is a pattern there, but it's going to be very difficult to find out what it is. So you would probably have to go in there with like yeah, with like a really good strategy, probably like a routine or a drill to fight through the chaos.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this attack never worked before, but this time it might work. It's like because she can't attack you the same way twice.
That is true.
Yeah. So this could be another instance of like if you time loop enough, you can literally just like roll everything correctly and like one shot her, or you would be there for like basically like the curse of the curse of the god shove, where you take you have 1 in 6,000 chances to beat her. You could start the fight and she just fucking says nah and just obliterates you like she's Doctor Manhattan, or
Yeah.
she's like, you know what? Yeah, let's fight, and she hands you a squeaky hammer,
Hmm.
and you just fight her like until forever.
Yeah.
I would say that she'd be characterized by like high, like really, like absurdly high fucking HP, and she's just super fast to kind of match the like that. She always seems to have a bunch of energy and stamina, and to kind of go along with like, oh, she's chaotic because she's super energetic, so she's always moving.
Okay. And I mean, it makes sense. Rats move a lot.
Yeah, rats, yeah, small rodents move a lot. They have to keep up the body temp. So I mean, probably not. It would definitely be a bullshit boss just because you have to deal with so many RNG, with so much RNG, so much, random chances. But it's like you could get those random chances and be like, oh, you have like a 16 times multiplier. And she's like, wait, no, you're not supposed to do that. And then she can't do anything about it
But
because
you
it's
can
her.
also get the multiplier yourself.
Yeah, but then like she can also get the 16 times multiplier and
Yeah.
just fucking obliterate you by sneezing on you.
Basically, the Bay fight, the solution, and the way you and your weakness will never make sense. That's chaos. So basically, is just a wild card, basically, which
Yeah,
makes sense.
she's a secret boss fight. She's completely optional, but yeah, you go in there with high luck and you might survive.
Oh yeah. Oh well.
She's literally like, oh yeah, this stat will never affect you, and then it's like that one random boss be like, that like one starting like that one starting area weapon you found, yeah, you need it for this fight. It's the only thing that damages this character. What? Why?
Well then, I guess it'll be time for the next one because Bay is literally that. Like, let's say you found this weapon's effective against this type of enemy. Okay, when do I get to use it? Never. Oh, you're a super boss. Finally, a time to use this weapon that's set specifically for you. Oh boy, that's like you said. It's like I would say. Actually, no, I don't have a good reason for that. Never mind.
Yeah, just go in there with like just like with a whole bunch of with like a bunch of luck, and you'll probably be able to survive it or tank it.
No, that is true.
It'll still be annoying. Like again, it goes either one of two ways. It'll either be annoying as fuck or you ace it immediately.
All right. Well, to go to the next one. Well, the next three. They're all graduated. So which order do you want to go? Because we got the Mume, we got the Fauna, and we've got the Sana.
We'll go with Sana because she was unfortunately the first one to leave.
Oh yeah, she was the first one to leave.
She was the first to be taken from us.
So Um, how do we deal with something as big as Sana? You know, like she's huge.
Yeah, you would need something as equally big as her to physically dent her
Well, yeah, well, what is equally as big as her is the love the Sana lights have for her.
and still have for her.
That's
Uh,
actually what will defeat her.
I,
But
I mean, honestly, considering that she's like the concept of space, the speaker of space, she would be on par with Ina on power level.
yeah,
Because
'Ca-
space as a concept is just so infinitely vast that like she probably knows about the universe before the one that exists. She's basically like a Galactus level tier, if not stronger.
uh,
And Ina goes beyond Galactus because Eldritch beings were always described as things that are beyond the concept and understanding of regular humanity. Of like the entire universe could be a simple thought of
yeah.
one of them, and heaven forbid one of them stops thinking about us for even an instant, and we all just fucking die instantly.
You
You know?
know, I heard that the Galactus in the Marvel, uh, ooh, excuse me, in Marvel has always been just sent away to another universe. It's gonna be their problem. Like it's always the same dude, no matter the multiverse.
Yeah, it's always the same version of Galactus.
Yeah. So, but I don't think we can do that for Sana because,
I mean, you could,
but
you
she's the
can,
embodiment of space. So you'd be sending space into another space, or
right?
you know that I don't know how to even continue that question. I don't even know if Sana needs some sort of defeating. Like she's just there.
I mean, she still has to have like a physical body to interact with other physical. Like that's always
Yeah,
been like the rule. It's like, yeah, you're fucking the concept of space, but you still need to manifest yourself into like a physical body to interact. You need to physically handicap yourself to exist in the universe you're trying to enter.
yeah.
You look at like Darkseid from DC, and like he's literally the fabric of creation in his base universe. The
Hmm.
dark side that we see in the iterations of him where he exists is like a fraction of his fucking power, or like a barely hintest vessel of what he is. He just has to handicap himself so much to exist in that universe. Or even like if you want to go more locally to you, it's like Fire Emblem. You talk to Grima, you're not actually fighting Grima when you're on his back. You're like the big ass fuck ass dragon is an apparition that he's making because like he's just like the concept. He's just like a fucking concept, you know. He's not fully materialized yet.
Uh, okay, Grima thing aside, because you have yet to play Echoes for all that.
Yeah,
Um,
but I know about it.
but as for Sana, before going into a tangent about someone else, like you said, with the whole dark side thing, maybe it could just be a fraction of hers. But then that raises the question: if you could really defeat her, right? Like, let's just assume she has a boss. If you were to actually fight Sana, you would have to fight another fraction of her too, or you would just never accomplish your goal. If anything, it would be more so like one of those boss fights that's not really a boss fight where you live and defeat. It's one of those boss fights where the boss can just say, "All right, I've had enough. Here's your victory thing."
Yeah, he
Like,
just like lets you have the win.
yeah, like Stephen in SMT4 Apocalypse. He's he bent the axiom existence itself, the great will, like seen in I forgot the religion's name for it, and basically broke the laws to find the. Basically, it's a DLC where you get to fight the past protagonist of Shin Megami Tensei, and these are all god slayers, right? They're like on level with Dante because if Demifiend's anything to talk about, those guys are cracked as hell. And it was like five of them versus one of him, and he was like, and the moment they saw him stand up, they were all like, "Ah, oh, son of a bitch," because this is a guy on a wheelchair, and he just stood up, and they were scared. Well, at least I
You're like,
like to
oh
think there was.
shit.
Like imagine you're fighting a guy in a wheelchair and he stands up, and the boss fight was already tough, and then you're like, oh no.
Oh, there's a phase two.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. So I guess for Sana, it would be something like that.
I
Cause
mean, at least I know for like a fact to even like physically wound Sana, you would have to strike her with the force of a meteor or an asteroid of significant size.
yeah,
Because like just how big her body would be in space. Because I'm just going off of like Galactus, who's already like fucking huge,
yeah.
or like Unicron, who's already like fucking huge. I'm gonna literally put her head like the size of Jupiter.
Mhm.
So you would have to strike her with a pretty significantly large asteroid for her to like physically recoil.
Yeah.
So at the minimum, you would have to be launching the equivalent of Phobos and Deimos, the moons from Mars, at her to like make her flinch and recoil, just to damage her physical body.
So basically,
That's basically like the tier that she's at. I mean, she wouldn't be that difficult to like get to back off or quote unquote defeat her, like as you said, but you would have to have that sort of like artillery in your back pocket
or
casually
just be
to
a
just like hit her.
Dragon Ball character.
Yes, because they just blow up planets for fun.
No, no, like it's probably all just filler stuff that the clips of the characters just blowing them up for fun. But the characters bit in canon can do it. Going on a bit of a tangent here to show how much power they have on the planets despite all the filler is Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan in the Cell games was actively holding back because he thought if he didn't hold back, he'd destroy the Earth. And then in Super, we see characters with even more power like that fighting on Earth, and they're not destroying the Earth, so it's all control and whatnot. But heck, even in regular Dragon Ball, Master Roshi, uh, original Dragon Ball, I mean, destroyed the moon, and
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
a normal human.
he's a normal human. So
Yeah,
basically, that could also be a thing to consider. If you have the energy to destroy a bit of her that is to the size of the moon, you could get somewhere. You'd be chipping at her, and that
yeah,
would be the way to get to her.
yeah. So but like, you also forget that like Frieza casually blew up planets for fun. Like the Death Beam, Death Ball
Yeah,
blew up planet
yeah,
Vegeta
don't worry
fucking
about it.
casually.
Yeah,
So I just be
heck,
like, like I said, that's why I said like you have to have that kind of power or ability like in your back pocket at all times to physically stop her physical body that she exists in.
mm-hmm.
I
But
also assume that she's
Master
like
Roshi is more relevant
altering her.
here because
Yeah,
you know which of
she's
us is
that'd
gonna
be
have
like
the
this.
Frieza level?
Yeah, was it because like the so if you were like Master Roshi's energy level, you could damage Roshi. Or if you want to go myth for myth, you got to be Sun Wukong and like fight in I've mentioned this before, but like in Asura's Wrath where he's fighting Reason, and he just like shatters him completely like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking of like the scale is if you were fighting Sana at scale.
Yeah, Sana is definitely the how do you approach fighting the mythical gigantic being and how much power do you have? And that would basically be it because assuming
Is
Sana
giant cosmic being of what the hell is this? Be like, oh, she's a giant. She's beyond giant. She's literally cosmic size level.
and
And it's like, oh
assuming
hey, look, everyone has like 2 or 3 health bars, and you see her and she has like 18, and you're like, fuck.
Sana would definitely be the endurance boss because yeah, you're probably
You could
not.
do a You could do a Shadow of a Colossus and just like launch yourself at her and take her out from the inside or try to, but like again, she would her own gravity would probably just fucking crush you. Then that's not even a fat joke, because I assume she's just also altering her gravity. So when she is in her small form to exist on Earth, she's not making black holes fucking everywhere because of
Hmm.
how that mass would have to be compressed.
Hmm.
And again, like if she really wanted to, she has an insta kill. Just like she just black holes you and you die, or she just like stops altering her gravity and you just get instantly fucking vaporized and crushed.
Or if anything, she would just look at your fights and be like, you know what? He's just defeating them. He's not actually killing the concept of time or space or civilization. I'll just leave them be.
Yeah.
because let's be honest, the universe is big and infinite. There's probably something more of importance that she has to probably attend to or look at. That isn't.
She's too busy looking at her stars and stuff to really be like, yeah.
If anything, she would probably kill you by accident by you trying to get to her.
She would accidentally cry. Again, like she wouldn't even be a boss fight. It would probably just be like, oh, you have to go fight this thing, and you start fighting her, and by the time you do enough damage for her to like notice you, she's like, what the shit? It would basically just be like an ant on her. Be like, oh, look how cute, and then she'd just be like, what do you want? Oh, okay, yeah, and then she just give like let you go.
If anything, it would probably be more so like a obstacle course, you know? Asteroids are around her because of all the gravity. You have to avoid the asteroids and make sure those asteroids don't make you fall on her because of all the gravity and pull you in so you would plummet to your death. If anything, that would probably be her fight. Just
Yeah.
a obstacle course.
So probably the most physically taxing boss fight would be Sana.
This one is the do you have enough things for this boss type of fight? Did you prep well type of fight? Because you're gonna be here for a long time type of fight. Because every game, no matter what genre, always has a fight. If it's a game that has fights in it, like a platformer, a fighting game, a racing game, that has like the spongy type of thing. Obviously, in a life simulator game or a art type of game, you're not gonna see this. But in any game that has you competing against something, that's what you're gonna see. But either way, we've talked enough about Sana, or then she
Yeah.
will take up a big amount of time, won't she?
She will take up a big amount of time. Her, like, if they all have like stages, and it's like that, it's like you traveling through the realm to get to them. Sana's stage is you just getting to her eye level. Like
Yeah.
her stage is just you on her body. Like you're traveling in a rocket. Just her stage is the entirety of the second half of the Metal Slug 3 mission.
Or fighting her is just like playing Star Fox.
Yeah, yeah. She alone is her own game. Is just fucking Star Fox.
Oh yeah. Oh, you start from the bottom, then you go to the top, and you find the brain, and then you shoot the brain. Pew pew pew.
And then
Eh,
she's like, "Ow, I have a headache." And then she just pulls you out. And it's like, "Oh, it's you. What do you want?" And then she's just like, "Okay, yeah." And then just throws you back.
oh well. Well, speaking of brains, should we go to no brain or no brain?
No brain.
Okay, this one or that one?
Brown.
All right, we're on brown
'Cause
on the 360 owl.
I think Mume left first.
No, no, Fauna left first. Mume left in May.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I guess we'll go with yeah. But then we'll just stick with Mume then.
Yeah. So, what about Miss Civilization herself? And yes, I know she has the murderous self, you know, but she's also one of the more but she's also a super inspiring and caring person. But then she just goes on, "Hey, I think we should just kill more people." I should,
I mean, many people share her. Many people share her vision, don't you know?
yeah, that is true. But one thing we should acknowledge first is that Mume is the representation of civilization.
Yes, and
This is a bit of a cop out, but what if you
but
but what if you fought Crony or Amelia first, right? And somehow gained their powers to go to a time where civilization was new, right? Could you theoretically fight a Mume with no powers? Or just doesn't know how to do anything?
no,
No?
because she's a guardian of civilization, so she was probably there. I would say that she embodies like all creation myths of like humanity, because like every civilization has like their own creation myth. Every mythology has its own creation myth of how its people came to be. So if she's like the guardian, and like all of like, so you think of like Prometheus, who gave like people fire and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's like that would have been her, basically. So it's like all creation myths that exist are probably her. So she'd be the youngest of council in terms of physically aging, or like physically appearing ahead of them.
Yeah.
However, I think she'd be the most diverse because she's just there at the beginning of what creation is of humanity. So it's like humanity has killed many of its own gods before. It's going to kill another god again at some point. And that's not even like, oh, they go physically fight it. They've just been conquered and forgotten to the point where it's like they are no longer there anymore.
Okay. All right. So I think for Mume, she would probably have the powers, like you said, of civilization. So it would depend on, like, let's say you fought her now, she would probably use a gun. You fought her in the medieval times, she would probably use a sword. You fought her in the earlier times, maybe she would have a weapon made of stones and sticks.
Right. Basically weapons made of primordial human understanding.
Yeah. So
Proto
basically,
humans.
this is probably going to be a shootout type of thing. If anything, this is probably a quick fight. This is the quickest fight out of all the gens. 1, 2, and 3. Even including the crony mirror, because remember, for the crony mirror trick to work, crony has to be enamored with it first. Like, you gotta make sure that mirror is clean, whereas for this one, it's basically a Western duel. Or just a Western strike. Either one,
I don't
I
think it'd
would
be that
say.
fast, but
Not that
I mean,
fast.
are we also assuming that she can turn into a giant owl and just fucking wreck you?
No, she does have the murderous intent, though, and the 360 degrees. So you're not getting behind her. You're not getting behind her. You're getting. She's gonna look at you everywhere. She's gonna keep her eyes on you at all times. So it just basically becomes a. All right, all right. What time is it now? And then what are you going to do with um like what time, year, decade, and whatnot, and what weapons do you think she'll be able to use? So it basically becomes a type of mirror. If we're gonna put this to game logic, this would be one of those mirror type of matches, like Link and Dark Link.
No, I think she would scale to you.
Exactly, like
She would scale to you. So it's like you could probably enter in the other boss fights like over leveled because they'd be capped at certain ages, or like at certain levels, certain ages, certain levels. But if you fight Mume, she's always going to be over leveled compared to you.
hmm
So you're already fighting an uphill battle because it's like, oh, all the weapons you have, everything that's on you, I made. I was there when you made it. The gift of fire was me. The gift of metal smithing, workshopping was me. Like everything you know is because of me. Yeah, space and time and fucking chaos are concepts that are universally, exist, but they're constants. They don't move as fast.
hmm
Civilization has moved exponentially ever since. Like, if you've ever seen like the timelines where it's like the beginning of the universe, and then like the creation of Earth, and then life
yeah,
and everything else, we are like a tiny like fucking speck from when the first proto humans were theorized to where we were now, and like in the 1800s.
that is
It's like
true.
it's like the vast history of like species living on Earth is so small, but like all the things that we've made are so fast. Like I always put in perspective, like in the 20th century alone, where it's like we were already 10 years into when the first airplanes were barely canvas and cloth,
Yeah,
barely strong enough to hold up a man. Within 50 years, we were on the fucking moon.
Reminder: it took more to develop it to go from bronze to iron than from iron to steel.
Yeah. And it's also like the pyramids that we know in Egypt were already ancient when the Romans got there. When fucking Julius Caesar went into Egypt or whatever the fuck, that time period, the pyramids were already ancient. And if you want to go even further than that and more existential, the modern Egyptian empire we know don't even know what the pyramids were for. Like they were already ancient when by the time they like we knew about that ancient Egyptian empire. The ancient Egyptian
If
empire we know, well, the pyramids were already ancient to them. They were already old as fuck.
if you want to know another fun fact about damn it damn it, it slipped. Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, on how time and civilization can fly by, Cleopatra was closer to the release of the first iPhone than she was born to the building of the pyramids.
Yep.
Heck, right now we're in a point in time where we're closer to 2050 than we were closer to 2000.
We're at the halfway mark. Actually, no, you're right because we're technically already in the end of 2025.
Yeah. So
It's like those posts you see where it's like 1998 was 32 years ago, and you're just like,
I guess if anything, Mumei's probably like gonna have the skills of fighting a character CPU that was programmed by a fighting game developer. AK, it's always gonna adapt to your moves and whatnot.
yeah,
Because
it will do more damage than you. It will be able to spam more bullshit than you. It has access to things that you can't ever have as a player, and access to items you can't ever have as a player.
or if do have access to them, really hard to get, or just obtainable after the fight because
And
you've
then yeah,
gained the
oh, yeah,
knowledge.
yeah, because you've gained the knowledge.
Because
Yeah, and you wouldn't. She'd be one of the few ones where I'd argue, kind of like how Sama, you don't really defeat her.
yeah,
She would fight you to a standstill. Like it would be like a Senator Armstrong fight where you don't really defeat her. Well, at least in the first half, it's like you just fight her to a standstill. Where it's
yeah,
like, all right, no, this is like, all right, you're at a point where I feel like I can trust you enough to give you this like future knowledge, or basically. I mean, I'd argue she's more busted than Crony is because Crony you can at least you have like an easy way out. This is just straight up a fucking slugfest, and
the,
we don't have too many like slug. I think she's the only slugfest, just basically blow for blow fight. For sword strike. Every trick you can think of to cheese the other bosses, she's going to
yeah.
do to you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so
Uh,
it's like, oh, this one attack that you don't like, that you can't ever seem to like ever get the pattern for, and you're always saving your potions for. I'm going to spam this at you, and the it's like the minute you dodge or you parry the first one, I'm gonna do it the opposite way at a faster rate where you can't block this.
you know, she could also be one of those boss fights where it's like, we're gonna have a fight now, but you can't use any items or whatnot, or like any special moves. It's basically fairground one on one.
It's the Jetstream Sam fight. It's Puss in Boots versus Death.
Basically, because here's the thing: while you're here prepping for the boss fight, humanity's probably progressed somewhat, so she's gained some knowledge from it too, in the civilization era. Like, think about it.
Again,
It
and again, this is just like pure. And again, this is again still just talking here as a pure humanoid fighting a human. It's like this is just excluding the fact that like at any given point she's like, all right, it's movement time, and then she just turns into a giant fuck ass owl and just charges at you, and then you're just fighting a giant beast with the knowledge of a human.
Don't forget her murderous intent face.
That I don't give a shit about that.
Oh dear. Either way, she's a Moomin, and I guess we that's enough for Mume now. Because
Yeah,
what else
either
can we
you,
say about
you
Mume?
you say murderous intent face, and I very clearly remember being like, I remember as a child before I knew what the concept of shapes were, I was literally drawing like fucking scribbles and just like full on, just coloring in full pages of paper, like coloring in full pages of paper in a notebook or whatever.
Yeah.
No shape, no nothing. But I was showing them to like my mom and dad, being like, "This is a house. This is a tree. No shape, no form, no figure. It was just scribbles." Like it wasn't even like box shaped or whatever. It was just like pencil scribbles going up and down like cross hatching. And I was telling him, I was like, I could see shapes in this. I could see figures in this.
Okay,
I could see
but
people and faces. You know that one like meme image where it's like the
what
kid
is
and he
the
has like his
relation with
mom and his dad.
Mume?
You say murderous intent or murderous intent face, and I'm like, there's worse things that humanity is afraid of than just someone with an evil
You mean
face.
things that don't understand, like one human's gonna see something but the others won't, right?
Right. And I'm just like, and I feel like children are more dangerous in that regard of like seeing things that don't exist that aren't there because the eyes of children never lie.
Oh, I see what you mean.
So I feel like Mume in her like owl form or in her mirror's intent fucking facial expression would be some kid's best friend and be the most terrifying fucking thing ever. Because children literally befriend monsters in the closet.
You know
And
what?
then you just have Mume in the closet and she's just there.
You know
Like
what? That is true. That is true.
it's a total Monsters Inc. moment where it's like tiny kid has horrifying just eldritch being like under the bed,
Yeah.
and it's a total Boo and Sully thing where it's like this is a monster. How are you friends with the monster? And the kid doesn't give a shit because the monster is nice to them.
Oh yeah.
The monster it's like the monster only goes after real monsters,
Hmm.
and it's just Mume constantly in her aura form.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess Mume's a terrifying one, even in a
Mume's terrifying.
discussion.
Yeah, Mume is terrifying in the fact that you are fighting yourself basically.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, I have this level 19 sword, level 20 sword. It's all forged up. She has a better version of it. It's physically impossible to get a better version of this is the best weapon in the game with the best upgrades. She has a better version of it.
Well then.
That's not physically possible. She literally has her own mechanic written in the game that she is able to have +2 levels to what you have at all times. Any debuff she has, she's immune to all debuffs because she's had them all before.
Well then. But don't worry. I guess if you fight Mume, her knowledge will come in handy to defeat the next one. Nature, the embodiment of nature, Ceres
Oh,
fauna.
oh, this is easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's plain.
You're fighting nature, bro. We fighting nature, and we're winning right now.
You know what? That is true. Do we even need to discuss anything? We've probably
Mume
killed
count.
Mother Nature. You've probably killed Mother Nature already.
Civilization counters nature at all times, dude. Like we terraformed the earth. Like that's the most beating nature into submission I've ever seen. I'm not saying that like it's gonna be like a clean sweep easy fight. I mean, I did just say it was gonna be an easy fight, but I'm like I feel like Ceres would be among one of the easier fights.
Yeah, because that you know that is true because she has the power of nature. But how's nature doing right now? Like, look, nature gives us uh, disasters, and I'm not talking. And like we get earthquakes
That
because we
that would no, that would be like her strongest like thing is that like you can't like we're not at the point where we can just deflect a fucking hurricane or tank an earthquake. Like these things still kill hundreds of people, still affect thousands of people if not more.
listen. You can
But
probably tank the earthquake with a good structure being outside, right? But it's gonna slow you down.
right. I mean,
But
but like
the
I like to see
hurricane's gonna push you back. And that's a given. And rain's gonna
the
also slow you down or make you fall.
blizzard too.
Don't forget about lightning.
Oh yeah, and then it also kind of goes back to like rules of nature where it's like she could just summon a big fucking dragon and just eat your face. Like that's her insta kill. She can literally just give you the bubonic plague and you're fucking
A
dead.
reminder that Sarah's fauna in lore killed the original Mother Nature, took their place, and trapped them in the body of a deer. So if you want to get lore-wise, she's probably scary too. But at
Well,
the
that's
same,
just like, and again, like you could like that's literally just nature, where it's just like things eating each other.
that is true. So what's he in there to discuss for fauna? Is she a boss fight or is she just?
Sh- she is a druid, so it would be like an encounter. I feel like the most dangerous thing about her was like it literally mentions her voice in her bio, where I'm like, I feel like she would be an assassin boss.
Hmm.
So you would have to destroy the environment to get to her, but like the entire time is she's just putting you under like disabling sleep effects or stuff like that, like charms and shit, and she's only really attacking you with like other animals. Like you never really fight her until you like clear the forest. In which case she's just like, all right, well,
What if that
I'll
is
fuck
her?
off then.
What if that is her fight? You have to fight things like forest elements, jungle elements, desert elements, and whatnot, and like get
She's a
through all
druid,
that.
so yeah, she's a druid. So I'm automatically giving her the ability to shapeshift into whatever animal she wants or any beast.
So
Because I have to kind of add in like the fantasy trope here. So like any animal she can transform into. We're not going by D&D logic. We can only transform into one animal. But I'm like, druids usually aren't limited to like one. Maybe like one, two, or three where they can be fully like in control. But like maybe like other ones she could probably call upon their abilities for a temporary amount of time. You know.
yeah,
So she can fly with all the speed of a dragonfly, or like hover in air like one. Echolocate you using bats, echolocation or anything else. She can dig as fast as a mole proportionally.
mm-hmm.
She has the strength of a bear despite the fact that she's fucking pencil thin. Shit like that.
Yeah.
She's a Kirin, so she's already part draconic as it is already. So you're kind of already fucked because you're fighting a dragon. This is literally the most Dragon Slayer type boss ever.
Yeah, so like what can we even say for final? Like you already said the whole dragon thing, but in general,
Flamethrower.
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 So her fight just turns into Pokemon.
Her fight is literally, yeah, it's gonna would be a Pokemon battle.
Well, all right then.
Her fight is a Pokemon battle. However, you are also on the target list. You are also under attack.
Huh.
And at no point are you ever able to actually attack her physically, or like directly, I should say. She always has a field of monsters ready at you, ready for you, and environmental hazards. And you're on a time limit because she's just gonna send all their nature shit at you at once. But it takes time for it to like build up the intensity she needs to just fucking kill you.
She could also send uh natural gas at you. You know, like the ones you find on the ground. That's probably poisonous and stuff like that. You know.
That too. She can also just make you fucking explode using bombardier beetle type chemistry.
Yeah.
She could melt your eyes. I mean, you don't really explode. Like, there's no like actual explosion. It's just like acid, or just
Hmm.
like superheated gas. But I mean, at that point, she's just venting naturally occurring methane at you. She just puts in superheated gas. Yeah, you're she gonna get blown smooth off. I mean, she has a natural flamethrower. So
Yeah.
you come at her with a flamethrower, she's just gonna drop all niceties and just incinerate you.
Hmm.
Fucking make lava fissures at your feet.
That is true.
Spawn a volcano on your ass.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I
So again,
guess.
like, I guess when I said easy, I meant like, oh, she's like one of the easier ones to theory craft for, not the fact that she would have been an easy boss. But fundamentally, it would have been a somewhat easier boss because you kind of know what you're expecting. Because you immediately see forest or like nature deity or nature guardian. You're like, all right, there's gonna be environmental hazards. It's probably gonna be a terrain hazard or terrain feature you have to fucking deal with. A lot of bullshit to just cut through her, passages of thorns or trees or whatever just to get to her. She's gonna be able to two tap you or one tap you, just like if you misposition.
So you're telling me her fight depends on what's your knowledge on nature and Earth's geography and all that, right? I mean
She is yeah,
geology
she is a game lore skills check type boss if you want to.
or environmental skills check boss as well.
Yeah.
You know, you could
She,
also
she but
say
she
that.
is a but she is a hard check because if you once you beat the checks just get harder.
Oh yeah,
Where it's like, he was like, X plus Y gives you Z outcome. Well, now here's A, B, X, Y plus, H, I times F. And you're like, what the fuck? And there's gonna be like whole videos on YouTube being like theory crafting, and they're literally gonna have like it'll be like the Black Ops fucking Easter eggs where there's people
yeah.
with like whole notebooks of just like unrelated information, be like, this is how you solve this puzzle. This is how you solve this puzzle. But it's just that for like real time shit in Fauna's case.
Oh yeah.
It's like if she summons these things at you, you're gonna have to do this, this, and this. while you have this weapon equipped, while having this skill unlocked to do this maneuver to tank all of this no damage, or like to even open up the window to hit you. Because if you don't break the window in time for you to hit her, because again she's just hiding in the forest, she
Yeah.
just goes back into hiding in the forest and you can't hit her. So she's just you have to whittle her down basically. Like, yeah, we're fucking up nature as it is, but look at how long it took us to even like fucking like did like do that, you know? And it was only in like the last couple centuries where it was like exponential to the point where we're actually causing enough of a
And
bioenvironmental hazard.
don't forget the rising cryptocurrency and AI generation also accelerating it, well, from what would be decades to just a few years.
Supposedly, right? Fucking
It's taking up
but that
AI takes up fresh water because data centers need to cool off. You can't use salt water for it. And cryptocurrency mining was taken from deforested areas, and maybe we don't live in such a paper society now, but at some point there were more forests being cut down than produced to make the paper supply and all that.
and the housing crisis is also like we need trees for wood because wood is the best way to make houses. So it's
The
like,
cheapest way too.
yeah, the cheapest way. Her main weakness would just be profit. Honestly, you just put a business, you just put an oil tycoon in front of her, and she just fucking withers away.
If anything, to prepare for this boss fight, if you just want to cheese it, right? Find that one oil barrel that's super hard to get, that you can't do so. You can only get it as a sign of defeating nature. You'd have to get it right, doing some crazy tricks, glitches and whatnot, to literally break the game, to have it in your inventory, to have it with you. Just throw it at her, and then the game doesn't know what to do and assumes you won the fight.
Yeah, something like that. Or you can just bring like a pregnant woman by her, and she'll like drop all pretenses of the fight and just be like, "I'm not gonna fight this. This is nature's beauty," or some shit, and then just leave you alone.
Yeah, anything beautiful to nature, like animals, uh, just being animals, that's nature's beauty. Like anything, or maybe just a plant that just started to grow, you know?
Hmm.
Or like making like the thing with the wet paper towel and the seed. That's finding nature even in a urban area, basically. Because you
Yep.
could take a seed, do that. You have a plant there, and let's see what other thing can be considered nature's beauty. Probably if you make a speech about how of the beauty in humanity, right? Because
If you fight her naked, she'll match your freak.
uh
You know how like that one guy in Elden Ring went around fighting all the bosses wearing nothing but a bucket on his head.
yeah.
If you exhibit that kind of dominance or just like lack of fear, she'll respect you, and then like again also like give you the win.
Hmm.
No need for a boss fight. She'll just be like, "You're gonna fight me naked?" Yeah. Be like, all right, I respect it, and then she'll just like stand aside.
Still, the best way to defeat her, petrol drum. She'll be shocked. No dialogue. Perfect for the speed run.
Maybe not petroleum jug, but like if to encompass like everything, probably just like again show her all the stupid decisions fucking AI
Wait.
and tech bros or business owners are doing right now,
Well. If you're gonna
because
get
it's not just affecting her, it's affecting everyone one of us too. It's just like this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why is this even allowed to happen? And it just happens either way.
if you wanna if you wanna get into that side of the solutions, one thing you could also do. What is one of the very things that is against nature? A bomb. She's weak to explosives.
Yeah, and you move mountains with explosives.
We move mountains with explosives. We explode caves for mining, right? Explode
Yeah.
mountains and whatnot. I think,
It's like dipshit. Everyone's weak to explosives. Be like, no, she like her elemental weakness is resistance. Her elemental weakness is explosives.
and that she's already weak to fire, so explosives would be a four times weakness.
She's weak to fire exactly once, and then you're weak to fire exactly once, but she's still alive.
Yeah,
because
because
because I think of wildfires. So you'd get her once and be like, yeah, I won, and then she just like come back from the ashes, just like in a
if
in a pissed
anything,
off like tribal form.
how about this? You get in one attack of fire, but if it wasn't in a critical hit or nothing, you just basically wasted your opportunity.
Yeah, and then you can never hit her, and then she no longer takes critical damage from fire because she's already quote unquote burned, so she's already like in her carbon form
Yeah.
or
Oh, and don't
like how
forget,
what
fires can just happen naturally in a
lightning
dry
strikes.
place.
Yeah, lightning strikes. I was thinking of like lightning
Lightning
strikes and stuff.
strikes too. But yeah, I guess that would be it for fauna. So I guess what would the order of difficulty be?
Order of difficulty?
Yeah,
I would say probably first order of difficulty would
yeah.
probably be Sana,
Mm-hmm.
and then Crony. No, probably Sana and Crony interchanged.
As difficult or easy?
Difficult.
Okay, so space and time, that makes sense.
Space and time makes sense, and then probably Mume underneath that.
Okay, civilization.
Uh, and then Bay,
Bay.
Fauna, and then Iris.
Ah, poor Iris. She gets to be
Actually,
the
no.
weaker one.
Actually, no. Iris would be no. Actually, Bay would be third place.
Third place. Ah, because of the
Yeah,
RNG.
yeah, because of the RNG. And again, it wouldn't be hard in the fact that like it's an actual skill. It's just annoying as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also like the battle could literally start and she gets a bad roll and then she gets blown up and then you're like, okay, yeah, my fight's over. It can happen.
Yeah, which is why she cannot be the hardest either.
Yeah,
Because
she can't be the
she's
hardest.
the most inconsistent.
She'd be the most. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, she'd be the most inconsistent.
All right, so I guess third for her, and then I'm guessing you
Uh,
would say Mume would be number 4
Mume would be number two.
in difficulty.
Yeah, because I said it was Crony and Sana fighting for number one, and then
Listen, if they're both number 1, then that means the next one would be a theoretical 3, right?
yeah, it would be a theoretical third. So then
S-
yeah, you're
So
right. And then so then it would
and you said
it,
Bay would be number 3, so that leaves Mume as number 4.
Mume would be number three. I'm mistaken. Mume would be number three, and then Bay,
Okay, okay.
and then Fauna, and then Iris. But Iris, not in the sense that she has the most easiest means to defeat her because she's limited by demon and angel physiology.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be
Faunus
an easy
is
fight.
yes, I think it's gonna be an easy fight. Faunus is the second easiest, quote unquote, because there's a lot of like little tips and tricks that you can like already naturally exploit, but you're only gonna be able to get it off once, and her gimmick takes a while to kick in, i.e., like natural disasters and stuff. However, she's also one of the second easiest because she's also one of the easiest ones you can like befriend, so you don't have to fight her.
That is true. She,
She's she's basically like an optional boss, or like if you fucked up enough, she will fight you. Whereas the other
or
ones I feel like are more like required.
or you could say that if you exploited the environment enough, like doing too many random encounters or cutting up too much grass or trees for materials, then she shows up as an optional boss. But if you keep doing it too much, then she's
Then
just
you
gonna
fight her.
block your progress, and then you will have to
Yeah,
fight her,
yeah.
which is hard
And
because you
again,
need a
like
lot of materials for Mume, which is civilization, taking a lot of materials from nature. And it's kind of poetic if you think about it that way.
yeah,
You want to make
to unlock Mume's boss, you have to fight Ceres basically.
no, no, no. How about
Yeah,
this? Mume's boss fight's already there. Sarah's fauna is optional. But if you want to make the fight with civilization easier, you gotta basically destroy nature. Hence, you're picking a fight with nature.
right.
Like the development of civilization. Like think about it. People want to develop AI for more things and whatnot, and that's gonna keep making data centers, taking clean water, destroying environments and whatnot, all for the progress.
And it's sci-fi, and it's most of the time when you have AI in sci-fi, they're always in like super high-tech, fucking isolated cities, and everything's usually filthy, and the air is toxic debris, so everyone's
It,
wearing masks and stuff, you know?
exactly. So basically, if you want to make your fight with civilization easier, you have to destroy nature. But at the same
Yeah,
time, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to destroy nature for it. Like, some people say we progressed a bit too fast in technology, and and maybe that could have been a thing to help civilization, or maybe not. Who knows? So basically,
I
these
don't.
two kind of go in tandem.
You say to make the civilization fight easier against Mume would be you have to defeat or you have to destroy nature, but I'm like
N-
I feel like it would make it harder
No,
because
no,
now
no, no,
you're
no. What
actively.
I mean is, if you exploit the resources in the world too much to make your fight with the civilization easier.
Oh, then yeah.
That's what I meant.
Because I definitely think in Mume's battle arena, it would literally be like a mini city sim kind of, or like a mini civilization game where you have to like play for a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's literally like at some point every like you have all your troops fighting and everything, and then she just comes and like wipes out your like she just wipes out both sides, and then she fights you directly like at that point
Mm-hmm.
because war is civilization, or
Yeah.
like civilization is war,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like,
So,
oh, you have all these resources just like in reserve to keep sending more people at the problem. Well, it's somewhat easier now, but you also just defeated Sana or Vana to get there. So
oh yeah.
it, it's somewhat easier because now Mume herself doesn't have enough resources, but the overall fight is still harder. So it won't
Mm-hmm.
be as long as a fight, but it's now a harder fight.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
shorter, more intense.
So what can we even? So you're saying? So from what you're telling me, space and time would be both number one, two number ones, making the next one a three, which would be chaos, right? Or like you said,
No,
civilization.
no, it'd be civilization, and
Okay,
then you
so
get Bay.
civilization would be number three, chaos four, nature five, and then hope six, right?
Yes,
Okay, and I think that's a pretty good order of
yeah.
things of what to deal with. Honestly, the one I'm not looking forward to fighting is Sana because I don't even have a rocket. What about you?
We have satellites.
That is true, but what about
I
you?
also had.
Who are you not looking
Uh,
forward to fighting?
I feel like Mume would be like the fucking. It'd be like fighting Rusty in Armored Core 6, where you're just like, oh god, he's so cool, but he's so big fucking killing me.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you guys that stick to the end tell us who you're not looking forward to fighting first down in the comments. And you got any goodbye words, Mr. Icarus?
Take care of nature.
That is true. Always take care of nature. Not because your kids might not be able to see it, but it's the fact that we might not be able to see it when we're older. Remember, every summer is cold. Every summer is less. Wait, how do I say this?
It's hotter than the previous summer,
E, like
and every winter
like
is
it.
colder than the previous winter.
Yeah, something like that. Either way, goodbye, everybody.
Corporations
Goodbye.
don't have rights.
Also true.